Soviets and Soviets of the Red Army, how y'all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we promised you some terrible divisions action, and we will deliver with that. Today on Orsha North, who do we have, Rang?
On left-hand side in blue, we have Rindy playing for Skijaeger Vanguard income. Right-hand side in red, we have Zogu I playing as 126th Mountain Infantry, I believe, with a Vanguard income.
Indeedy do. So, as you can obviously see, both guys bringing that Vanguard income, so both guys expecting this thing to be over sooner rather than later. I suppose the question really is, who has the earlier advantage over here in A?
That's a good question. Both of them are going pretty heavy. I know one thing for sure, is that is Skijaeger going to fall into the classic trap of running out of stuff as the match goes later? Because we see it every time. We see Skijaeger. They just do not have the gumption to last longer than 30 minutes. So we'll see if Rindy can, for him, I think he really needs to get a quick knockout. Because Gornostrelkovy is built pretty deep in terms of their infantry. They have a lot of guys.
Well, that's kind of what you expect out of them. But I mean, like, if you look into B... Ooh, wow, actually, there is a single card of C infantry over here from the first Skijaeger.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is, down south, we have that knee mortar, that 50 mil, and a BT-7, which doesn't sound like it's going to do a whole lot for, you know, the Gornostrelkovy, but that could be just enough to really cause a hassle.
Yeah. It has a high veterancy too, which is going to help out a bit, but... Yeah, once again, it's going to go down to Rindy. He does have the more quality, quote-unquote, infantry compared to Zogu, so... And he's going to have to make it count. Like those Sturm, Skijaegers, and Fusiliers.
Silly question.
Need to rack up a body count.
A silly question. Down to the south, you can see how there's some bomb impacts or something. I didn't see an airplane at all. Did I miss an airplane down the map?
Yeah, it's a A-20 Boston.
Oh, okay, so it's like I didn't see any airplane on the mini-map. I just saw bombs explode, and I was like, I know my eyes are not as good as they used to be. So I just want to kind of double-check there for a second.
It's a new stealth technology implemented. It's, you know... It was, like, hidden in the patch notes.
No, as with so many things, like the recon. So recon got overdone, but now we have air stealth too. Gotcha. Makes perfect sense. BT-7 is down though, which basically means that he's got to rush some more armor into the area, and he's going to bring another BT-7 in for all the good that's going to do him against those Boita T-34s.
Yeah. Yeah. And this has to go pretty well over here for Indy, because there's not a whole... Okay, Gornostrelkovy have anti-tank grenades, but with the Skijaeger's pushing in front, and if he doesn't move and the T-34 is close enough, he might be able to take his southern hill. And it's crazy looking at the rest of the map. It is pretty quiet. Everyone just fighting over the southern choke point.
It's entirely understandable, too. I mean, the Skijaegers, though, are going to get completely just pounded into dust. Gornostrelkovy over here with the DTs, I mean, yes, they're keeping the infantry at bay. I think the T-34s have really just been allowing them to really run roughshod, and dear God, I forgot how much these 50 mils are just like machine guns of mortars.
They do a lot of damage when we got more infantry being charging, but Sturm Fusiliers in a pretty good position to ambush, but there's a lot of more Skiers, and they have a lot of rifles.
Yeah, rifles, but not MP44s. So,
no.
Yeah, the SVTs are going to cause a hassle, but it's not going to be enough. The BT-7's already down too, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, and T-34s actually really helping out down south here. There's not a whole lot of armor. Those BT-7s do not really match up against the T-34 brethren here. So this might be this might be what Rindy needs to try and get this push happening. Or Gorno with Zogu, he needs some more anti-tank here. I believe he does have anti-tank guns, because that would definitely be quite helpful.
That's what I was desperately calling the P-40, actually the Skijaeger, which is an interesting call. I guess it's understandable. I would not be super gung-ho about using my air power in that. I think I'd rather use it on the T-34s, but hey, you know.
Yeah.
Up in the central position of the map. Up on the central position of the map, we are going to see the gorilla go down, but them's the breaks. Like, you're not too surprising there.
Yeah. Yeah, quite interesting seeing grills, because they're not really the most effective unit, I'd say, in terms of firepower. I mean...
Certainly not early on.
Yeah, it's like... it's not a terrible unit, but I much prefer having the big, like, gun, the unmounted 150mm. You know, to be fair, you cannot get the 150mm unmounted with divisions that have the grill. They are separate, while still being kind of the same.
Ah, so it's a separate equal kind of issue where you obviously know they're not separate or equal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like mashed potatoes and peas.
I don't think I've ever heard that particular kind of idea applied before, but if this is like some sort of Canadian dietary restriction, I probably agree with you.
You never met like anyone who gets like really like ticked off if like stuff gets in its mashed potatoes that isn't mashed potatoes?
To be fair, I think my partner's cousin has a thing where he has to have corn inside of his mashed potatoes, so it's the kind of the opposite direction for me.
That is, I've never heard of that one before.
I could utter some locational kind of racism here, but I'm trying to be more inclusive as the year ends, so we'll just let it alone for now. 2 more 50 mils coming up, being brought on in, and of course, actually, this is a great call to kind of reestablish some kind of control, and the P-40 is also desperately, desperately needed. But the ME-109 might be enough to cause some hassles here.
In the end, yeah, it's definitely going to help out quite a bit from Rindy. Because Zogu's really relying quite a lot on his air power to try and make his southern assault works. He's throwing in more infantry, and that is definitely going to buy him lots of time, but... And he also has the anti-tank gun, which also might be what he needs to try and knock it out his rather nasty Panzer Force, T-34s.
Well, the amusing thing for me is that despite the fact that Windy has just been running roughshod over the Soviet defenders, he hasn't really taken hardcore, valuable territory. He's fought and died, really, for nothing at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, like, if Zogu's gonna get pushed hard, this is a perfect time to get pushed hard. He's still 12-12, he's just gonna have to keep throwing bodies into the defensive position down south to keep up secure. And this is usually what happens in Orsha North. You know, you get very much concentrated in one small flank, and there's a whole rest of the map which you can put. Sonori's center position is very much underlooked. I like to look up north. We have a PTRS squad trying to do some sneaky maneuvers. That's actually 2 PTRSs in that squad, so that's double the firepower, Khan.
Well, that was the thing too, is I was going to call that out when we finally had a moment to breathe here, but just like, there's been this constant just death and destruction galore. P-40, by the way, going after this infantry. And I think what you said is probably the right way to go about this. If you push the infantry for the first Skijaeger, I mean, that's the win.
Yeah.
That is the
Kill
win.
them all, and there's nothing left of Skijaegers. They don't have great availability all in all of the division. Like, if Zogu can hold for 30 minutes, I mean, he has a C-phase card of 32 Gornostrelkovys. So he's gonna not run out of dudes. He has lots of dudes.
Unfortunately, a lot of his anti-tank guns and a lot of anti-tank weaponry is just being thrown in willy-nilly. Extremely aggressive, and I understand why, but, you know, you got the time to creep. There's no reason to be rushing on in.
Oh, the BT-7 flank here. I do love seeing a good BT-7 flank here. Perfect for your situation. If they can actually go around and get a rear shot on the T-34s, but...
It's asking an awful lot. And the Skijaegers honestly could just kind of aggress on them. The BT-7s are going to cause some hassles for the infantry for the time being. But now that the T-34s know that they're there, it's just a question of, okay, well, how many of your infantry squads will die before the tanks are going to get shredded?
Yeah, Rindy pretty much has secured the southern hill now. It's a pretty major leap in terms of securing the southern flank. He just needs to clear off the rest of his forest, and the Russians are pretty packed in there like sardines with the Moskayas and the mortars. So mortar or bomb and run would do wonders in that sector.
Well, and kind of mildly amusing thing is that we had this close support fighter get rushed on in. So the ME-410, yeah, it was the ME-410 just dropped a 4 or 6 pack of bombs. I can never recall which one it is. On the BT-7s. The BT-7s have kind of booked it for the hills here.
I do like how the 126, most of our air power is not even Russian planes, it's American and British planes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, dude, if I could get Hurricanes, I would take Hurricanes 8 days a week, man.
Same. And, what's it called? Yeah, Cobra. I've bloody loved that thing in War Thunder. You know, you got the 37mm cannon. All you need is one hit. It's hard. It's a hard hit to get, but any plane dies.
Well, you know, I feel like some of the earlier things that were like, oh, let's put a 20 mil on this. Oh, let's put two 20 mils on this. I'm thinking to myself, yes. If you look at how thin-skinned the airplanes were, it's shocking to me that anything stood up to firepower underneath a 20 mil.
Yeah, and then they put a 37mm.
And justifiably, that became, hey, guys, let's just use this to strafe ground vehicles. Yep. Yes, perfect sense. Let's do it, guys.
Yeah. Then they just went back to a crap ton of 50 cals. Because really, that's what you need. Just a crap ton of 50 cals.
Kind of funny, there's a Gornostrelkovy PTRS that's just kind of chilling behind the front lines in the southern side of things as well. He's not going to get any immediate kills, but he certainly will have some...
Oh, yeah.
Rather wet underpants, I imagine, if any Skijaeger troops go by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he actually does get any kills, yeah, or if he gets spotted by some sneaky infantry. But Rindy is really putting all his resources down south. Same thing, of course, with Zogu, bringing in a bunch of M3 Lees to try and secure the sector. And that sees a pretty even matchup. Well, I see...
No, it's not.
T-34s are better, yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the M3s for 2 guns, so a bit better suppression. But I think at long range, it really goes to the T-34s here.
Well, the funny thing, too, is where the BT-7's like, aha, we're ready to go, guys, rush! And immediately ran to a Panzer Shark squad, and I imagine we're going to see another one go down in just a second here. Aligning, the stars are aligning, and yep, there goes another Shrek.
Yeah.
Even while the Lees are engaging the T-34s, and we're seeing another setup of here of... What's this? Oh, the Moskaya Pakotas with the DPs. So there's going to be an attempt to restart some pressure over here to the northern side of things. Still don't really relish their chances. I mean, I think there's just enough here for some, like, loose pressure to kind of slow things down. I think he's trying to encourage troops in for the PTRS behind lines to actually do some damage.
Yeah, I think it's northern push from Zogu could go really great, because it's only the Skijaeger Pioneer and the Skijaeger, and they're pretty out of position, frankly. They're not really going to be able to catch his force immediately, so I think his Moskayas will be able to just rush on through and capture the northern hill with barely any casualties.
Meanwhile, the last of the Lees is the only thing left, and kind of like the historical counterpart, there's just not enough bodies for him at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, even 37 mils getting shredded. I mean, we're going to see some very, very abrupt... P-40's going to go after them, A-20s are going to go after them. Yes, he's going to slow down the push, but he's not going to stop it.
No. No.
The most Kotas, you're right, by the way, so there is very little left here.
Yeah, just really out of position with the infantry and not much defense, and that's kind of be expected. He's spending all his points down south here of, like, what seems to be the entire German army and Russian tanks is pushing through. And the main thing is that Rindy has done a really good job of keeping a lot of his T-34s alive throughout this southern engagement, because he doesn't have a ton of them. He does need to try and conserve them to the best of his ability. But now he's in a good position where he could potentially start hooking up north and get that very juicy town. But hey, look, there's off-map artillery, and that's pretty big explosives.
But the bulk of his infantry will get out in time.
Yeah.
You see right now, like this northern push, or this northern border of the south push, it is more or less outside of the artillery. Yes, there goes a T-34. Yes, we're going to have some more death and noise here. But the Gornostrelkovys are not going to be able to hold on. That's asking an awful lot.
Gornostrelkovy PTRS squad, I think he meant to get 1 infantry kill out of spawns, and he gets a second. Is he going to get Stug? I don't think so, not going to be shown Scheider.
Oh, wait, that guy up to the north. Yeah, so the T-34 saw him, and, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's waiting for the Stug to forget about him. But the Stug does not forget. Oh, it's just shooting long range now. He needs to get... There we go, he's got a sniper team coming in. and Skijaeger to try and rout that guy out.
Now, looking elsewise, has the PTRs been cleaned up in the south? No. In fact, he still doesn't even know that he's there. More Skijaegers being thrown on in. Yep, so. The Gorno has definitely missed his shot.
Yeah.
Definitely missed
And
his
now
shot.
he's gotta run away as he's being hunted down. Southern side, it's going really well here for Indy. He's clearing up that town very easily because there's only 2 Gorno superior squads in there, and that's going to be some pretty easy flags under his control, and that's a pretty easy area to control once you hold it. And this is really the perfect like flank push, all in all. You capture the flank entirely, and then you push them to the enemy town.
Forgive me, I'm watching as this Pack 36 desperately... Oh, no, never mind. Pack 36 now has the Pack 40, has the other Pack 36. Yeah, never mind. This Lee push is just turning into a Charno house.
Yeah. And you don't really have a lot of armor with 126 to be thrown away like this. I mean, C-Phase, he does have a bunch of key V1Ss, which is nice. But that's all he's gonna really have, apart from the boatloads of infantry.
Yeah, and that's really the issue, isn't it? If you look at the 126, I mean, you're not going to have... 126? Yeah. For some reason, I always doubt myself when we start getting above 100 here.
I completely feel you.
Like,
too many numbers for the Russians.
Oh, actually, this barrage to the south is going to absolutely pound these anti-tank positions into dirt. So, say goodbye, farewell to, you, my Spanish ladies. Skijaegers are probably going to... Yeah, Skijaegers are going to get forced out. Last kind of lucky break there. And actually surprisingly meager damage. I'm very, very surprised by that. Huh.
Same here. That Pack 40 should have been kaput, but he's just very concerned about his current well-being. Oh, the Gorno PTR squad up north, I think he's managed to avoid enemy patrols.
Well, dude, he played that level in Call of Duty, man. He knows how to go.
It's like all the Russian soldiers are walking right on top of you.
I will tell you, man, back when that first came out, my heart stopped in that level.
Yeah. That was a really good level. Even today it plays really well, even though it is a very scripted sequence.
Oh, man, we actually need more missions like that, just in general. Oof. One thing I have noticed, though, is that whenever we see any kind of Strelkovy air power, the attached air power has just gotten pounded.
Yeah, it's not a good day to be a Russian pilot.
That's unfortunately most of the case, I think, for many of those days. Very, very few days were good days to be Russian pilots. The southern push, though, I mean, if you can throw back or at least put a stopgap onto this is a hefty chunk of investment.
Yeah. But even then, he's only going to be having a 2-flag advantage over Zogu. Zogu's done a fantastic job up north, holding on to his flag. Really, once again, not much casualties, and he's got a very good defensive position here with the guns, a boatload of infantry. But I don't feel like he has the same firepower to make it onto the enemy town on the northern side. It's pretty well defended, and he just does not have enough forces.
True. But as we get over here towards C, again, are we going to see... Are we seeing that the Sturm Skijaegers are without other infantry? Or is it that we still have much of Windy's troops ready to blow down over here on Zogu?
I feel like Windy's been doing a pretty good job of his infantry attrition. Like, still a lot of his, T-34s are alive for the most part down south. He still has a lot of Skijaegers, scattered around the map. So I feel, and he's in, getting into position now, especially down south, where all he has to do is hold. And you can hold pretty well with the German stuff, because you've got MG42s galore.
The question is what happens when you get those KVs coming in.
Yeah,
we'll start to see them in 20 seconds.
That's going to be a pain. He's going to need to get his anti-tank guns into position. He doesn't really have any dedicated anti-tank airplanes at disposal. He does have a few Stugs, but still, Stugs and KV-1Ss, it's a pretty even fight.
Well, and if he can use the martyrs as kind of a shoot and scoot, he might have a chance there too.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's going to be his major issue coming into C phase, and yeah, Zogu, I think he's just, I don't know, I think his best bet is to just try to take back that 7th town first off. I mean, he does have a lot of infantry he can throw into, yeah, and maybe some off-map. He's using some regular artillery right now, it seems, to try and pound away those 76mm mountain howitzers.
Mildly amusing, we've had ME-109s being called on in just to strafe the bejesus out of the Gornostrelkovy BTRSs. Which, by the way, took out another gorilla, so, I mean, more than worth it.
Not bad, and he's still alive!
Well, it's two guys sitting down there with a PTRS, so it's getting strafed, like, ouch.
Yeah.
But you know what? I kind of have to disagree. I mean, you don't even have to take back the southern town. Take this northern collection. Like you pointed out about 10 minutes ago, this northern side is still rather undermanned.
It is. Yeah, you're correct.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Debatably 9 full squads of infantry are still here, and can easily sweep aside these 4 guys. The Skijaeger MG42s. That's not going to be enough.
Yeah, if he had to get like a tank or 2 up here, I think that'd definitely be the firepower he would need to try and, try and secure an area. I do see a slug being brought in rather for defense, and down south, Zogu temporarily has gotten a foothold onto the town, but it's not going to be enough. We have just a lot of firepower overall here from Rindy. Even got machine gun teams on the hill which are in range to just, shoot lots of machine guns at the incoming Russians.
Indeed. Indeed. I'm looking over here at the Skijaeger to get some kind of artillery, but, actually, wait a second. He's got the off-maps he'd be calling on in.
Oh yeah, he's got the off-map airplanes. I believe those are pretty big caliber.
Yeah, it's a 172? 173?
Yeah, it's relatively sized.
Well, and I think
KV-85s, my bad, not 1Ss, but I think it's kind of the same thing.
A KV is a KV, yeah, they're terrifying nonetheless. Yeah, Pack 40 is engaging him from distance here. And the kind of predictable results are happening. You see a KV, he gets attacked by the Pack 40 gets shelled, and I mean, it's one of those rock, paper, scissors thing that's very much a tale as old as time. But the Moskaya Pekotas and the Moskaya Automachikis, yeah, they're not making it in. The T-34s are starting to hit that kind of attritional point where they really aren't worth their weight in petro anymore.
Yeah, against KV-85s, they're pretty useless. When it was only BT-7s and M3 Lees, they're not bad. But now it's starting to get a little bit worse for them.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to beat up on a 4th grader when you're in like 11th grade, but when you have, a couple of 10th graders, when a senior show up, like, it's a little bit more difficult as fights go.
Yeah. I do like up north again, the PTRS squad. He's, once again, trying to find him. I think, Rindy, I don't know, is just going to wait for the PTRS to rear its head again and then shoot.
Which means he's got to bring it at a worthwhile target.
Yeah. It's always funny seeing just how effective a sneaky anti-tank team on the enemy spawn can do. It's not even so much just the amount of material it kills, it's just tying up resources and also just really annoying your opponent. Because I've been on the receiving end of that and it's not fun.
Oh no.
You just feel paranoid because you buy thing and you want thing to get to front line for it to blow up, but then it blows up in back line and it makes you quite sad.
Yeah, it's one of those things that make you just cringe. It's like when you go to the doctor, he's like, you have high blood pressure, and you're like, well, I've been playing a lot of SD2 recently. And he kind of nods and he goes, partisan tactics, and you're like, partisan tactics. Like, we really have all been there at one point or another, when you're like, yeah dude, King Tiger! And then it's like, snipe! 2 kilometers behind the front lines. But yeah, so, I mean, he's got the opportunity to take more territory here, and he's just been so cautious about it. Is that the right term? Is that a fair term? I feel like there's caution here.
I feel like he's just been very tied up down south with these aggressive pushes, and I mean, just looking down south, he has run out of a lot of stuff. Like his KV-85 got destroyed once again. Winditas is a very good defensive position on this entire area. And I do feel like he will not be able to make a push here anytime soon. There's just too much stuff all around. He needs to refocus and try to push up north, because with his limited forces here, he has managed to make good headway. He just needs more forces to make even better headway.
In the north or the south? Because I admittedly
North,
have been looking
north.
at the south. You have something to say?
Yeah, south is just, it's a brick wall. I mean,
Yes,
Pack
it
40s
is.
are in really good positions, there's machine guns all over. It's not nice. And there we go, Rindy's actually going to be pushing a little bit into the center position, trying to get that farmstead. That'd be another easy flag under his control. And he does
Yeah.
have the, you know, the hill nearby to shoot. But also, same time, Zogu has his hill, and he's shooting with his field guns.
And that's really the thing, isn't it? Is that we have, you know, the guerrilla that's putting some nice kind of suppressive fire, more or less, taking out machine gun positions, doing just enough to cause a hassle. And part of me is these ME-109s, the Bash brothers, come on in, and I imagine they're going to take out at least one of these A-20s. Or, wait, will the A-20s have enough speed to get away?
Thinking pretty fast.
Maybe not. Landing gear damaged. That's one. And I don't think they got the second one, but it's still pretty hefty here. Those guys have gotten their fair share of kills.
Mm-hmm.
And this 410 has just been absolutely delicious in the kind of like severe, fantastic bombing runs. Pinned down, Skijaeger moves in, kind of get the surrender. That's another flag right there. So, you know, yes, he is losing part of the town down to the south, but he's selling lives so dearly. He's selling territory at just this. He's really forcing some really, really hard material trades here.
Yeah, and even then, with the current, like, temporary loss of the town, he's going to be able to get that back. I mean, the Gornostrelkovys just get completely pinned down by the overwhelming machine gun fire we're seeing. You're also starting to see some artillery fire onto Rindy's hill here, which is definitely a good call, because the MG42 has been a giant pain in his arse.
I'm just trying to think about, too, like, I want to see almost how much of his firepower he has left. He's got to have used most of his ammunition by now. He's been there pretty much the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, geez. Looking over here, I feel like, yeah, Zogu's running out of infantry. He's bringing Maximus, he's bringing Zis's, and I feel that Zis might have been a better call earlier.
Yep.
Just as that standoff kind of engagement to help support the infantry going in.
And also to shoot down those pesky airplanes and
Exactly.
keep his airplanes alive.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think... Yeah.
Oh,
No,
please,
there's
please.
Rindy's kind of like... His defense is down south again, a little bit scarce. I don't mind he's bringing in more reinforcements. He has a lot of reinforcements being brought in, so he should be fine.
Yep, a cold wind continues to blow there. Looking back up to the north, yeah, he's got infantry massed just to kind of go and keep things under control. The important territory. He's got, you know, a couple half tracks, a bunch of infantry on one. He's got Stugs, and he's got this defense in depth on the next couple of flags here. And that's really been the biggest hassle. Is that I think early on, the lighter Russian armor kind of got squandered here.
Yeah. And the infantry is just not enough, really, unsupported. You have a little bit of artillery here now, but Rindy just has the half tracks, anti-tank guns, all of that, machine guns, etc. You know, keeping his Sturmjägers alive. Oh, not Sturmjägers. Oh, he has Sturmjägers, but I'm trying to say Skijaegers alive.
Well, and the other thing that's been helping him out, too, is that he's been able to keep a lot of that Russian infantry from really getting to the front. I'm sure if you look at some of the kills later on, you'll see a lot of anti-tank kills, you see a lot of Stug and P4 kills, not P4, excuse me, T-34 kills, on those Morskaya coming on in, the Gornostrelkovy. And that, I mean, any single time that you don't have to actively shoot it out with Russian infantry, the happier you're going to be. Again, we have guys like the Morskaya Automachikis here. 12-man squad with a Thompson. But if he can't get within 200 meters of you, you win.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. Now we've got the Skijaegers getting into the town, and they're going to be in a good defensive position. There's just like enough open field between Rindy and Zogu for him to just suppress anything that dares try to get close. And there we go. We got continual bombing runs, the 410s. The anti-air's actually doing some fantastic work. Probably going to shoot him down. Definitely could have used something like that earlier.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, there's definitely a huge amount of fire being put out onto him. Yep. Wow. Okay. And he freaks out the Pack 40 a bit, which probably freaked me out too.
Mm-hmm.
But by the same token, he did exactly what he needed to do. The base of fire material maxims, they're both either pinned down or very much out of the fight. And now his Skijaegers can shoot it out with Gornostrelkovy in the open, and I know who's going to win that fight.
Oh, the Skijaegers, shockingly. Oh, well, I guess I'll off $5.
Let's see. Martyr's being brought on in, which tells you that it's starting to get a little bit dire over here as well for Windy. But I don't know, man. I think he has successfully exhausted his opponent here.
Yeah, he's traded really well with Skijaegers, which is definitely not something to see all that often.
If I could go into kind of just nitpick for just 1 second here, is the fact that we haven't seen anywhere near enough artillery. Maybe I missed the mortars coming in. Maybe I missed an off map somehow or something like that over here from Windy. But I feel like that could have made this even more complete of a victory. You know, even whether it's just the smoke or whether it's the big booms that we can always kind of know and love from the off-map arty. So that's one area that could definitely have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah. The same thing with Zogu. He does have the 76mm field howitzers, but he was doing really well with the off-map artillery earlier on. Like, just... You know, that would have been a good push. And there's more artillery as well to try and suppress the town, use smoke, and then move up the infantry. It's definitely things like... I mean, it does have smoke in the 76mm, and... It's always something we don't really see people use all that often. With artillery, that is. We do see pretty good use of smoke play with infantry. But, like, if there's a town, you can smoke it and you can push up. And it helps. It helps, guys. Your infantry will love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I mean, for all of our entire lives, we've been hearing the same thing, that smoking kills. But actually, in this case, smoking saves lives. And
it also helps you kill, depending on the point of view.
True. So I guess smoking still does kill. So, I mean, listen to your health teachers. But here we are. Here we are. Now we have the stroke over here, Pack 36, Pack 40. 3 different eras of German anti-tank equipment, and they're all equally worthless.
Yeah, those KV-85s are really good tanks, considering they're... Oh yeah, 95 points. Even then, it's a really good price. It's the same armor as the Tiger, and it has similar firepower, really.
It certainly does.
Yeah, it's pretty much... Yeah, it's pretty equivalent to a Tiger tank, in the basic sense.
Yeah, if you kind of squint, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're squinting a bit. But I believe we're coming down here to the end. Yeah, the last couple of Morskaya Pekotas and the last kind of Gornostrelkovys are being called on in. And the German firepower is just doing just a victory run over here. Except I think the Zis... Is the Zis gone? No, the Zis is still up. But there's too much firepower, and there's too much in the way of just... Yeah, jeez. The ME-109 just kind of say, you know, I think we'll kill that today.
Yeah, they deserve to die. And then these guys, and then these guys. Nice thing when you have air power. But there we go, the Zis gun is... Well, the anti-aircraft Zis gun doing a really fantastic work. That Trin 25mm is such a good anti-aircraft piece.
Yeah.
Shame he did not have those earlier.
Well, the only thing I would say you'd probably do with that, though, is that you have to have some kind of supply equipment with that, because it blows the ammunition so fast. Again, what's the... Yeah. 600 rounds a minute? Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, as we come over here to the end of this particular cast, it does look like Windy's going to pull it out over here against Zogu, so well done there. It's nice seeing Skijaeger trade efficiently and actually pull out a win. It just that doesn't happen.
No, I was not expecting him to do this well, but I think the deck, fighting against a deck that didn't have a lot of heavy armor, helped out first off, because those T-34s were pretty damn good, but also just not completely throwing away his Skijaegers and using them efficiently. Because it's not, you can't treat them like with more regular infantry deck, where you can be a bit more willy-nilly. You have to be a bit more careful with them and not charge them out in the open.
Well, it is a 500, 600 kind of kill difference here. From the Soviet side, there's a Moskaya Pekota that does pretty well. Other than that, though, KV-85, 3 kills. And that's really the major issue, is that you're not getting your pound of flesh. Now, if you look at the other side, Judd, for example, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kills and two Lees and a BT-7. ME-410, 4 kills. Gorilla even getting 3 machine guns. ME-109, 3 kills. Again, not guys that have done fantastically in trading out, but they're still at least trading equally or trading up generally.
Yeah, it's some like pretty rough raw units all in all.
But any final thoughts there, sir?
None today.
Well, folks, in that case, then thank you so much as always for kind of joining yourselves with us. We'll be obviously giving you some more kind of SD2 League coverage, as well as Terrible Divisions Tournament, as we continue to count down over here to the end of the year. Actually, by the time this goes up, we will be in December. So a very merry holiday season to all of you guys. I'm sure we'll be saying that again to you. But until next week, I'm Conor.
I'm Mengru. Take it easy.